Oh, hey Emily, are you ready to record our podcast about the 1996 teen spooky Halloween movie starring Neve Campbell and Skeet Ulrich?
Dara, I thought we already covered Scream.
No, silly, I'm talking about The Craft!
Which it doesn't have nearly as much critical acclaim as Scream does, but I think it deserves it.
We can get into where I think this movie went wrong. I think it had the juice.
Yeah.
It had the potential. It had the cast. It had the premise. It was at the right time. We know it was at the right time. It's literally the same year that Scream... I guess Scream is also kind of revered as more of like a cult classic, like stood the test of time rather than like actually was huge when it came out. But I think that this movie could have done that, and then I think it just let go of something beautiful by just not letting those girls get what they wanted.
Okay. All right.
But we can get into that in a little bit, but we're going to talk about The Craft today to add to our sort of spooky, campy Halloween movie month. And I had never seen this movie, and I did not know a single fucking thing about it until it started, and I was like, this is the entire same cast as Scream. Literally just two of them, but just me being dramatic.
It's
like, this is the cast of Scream. And it's like the mid-90s, and the vibe is like almost exactly the same. So I was really like surprised at first, because I honestly didn't know jack shit about this movie. Had you seen it before?
No. I just knew it was very much for the girls, for the spooky girls, which 110% true. Definitely for the girls, and that's one of the things that I really loved about this movie. But it kind of flew under the radar for a long time, at least in my eyes. I don't know. I mean, Alyssa had seen this movie before I had, which, I mean, maybe she has better taste than me now that she's on Letterboxd. I don't know.
But speaking of things that are for the girls and for the spooky girls, this podcast is called The Swamp. It's an acronym.
Stands for some whack-ass movie podcasting.
Did you see that nice segue I just did? Not obvious at all. My name is Dara, and I'm here with my lovely co-host Emily, and I'm excited to get into this, because this movie... Oh, before we get into it, though, at the top of the episode, two things I want to specify. Thank you to listener Brooke Drew, who commented in and was like, during the Hocus Pocus episode, we were like, hell yeah, Kenny Ortega. We love Kenny Ortega. I see his name on my screen, and it's a yes from me. And she was like, maybe cool it on the Kenny Ortega praise, because he is a child.
No!
So, I guess, obviously, any grown adult man working on that many Disney things we should have flagged that it's Bad News Bears. But I was like, thank you, Brooke. I will formally be rescinding all of my, because I know we've covered stuff that he has directed or at least choreographed in the past, and that I've been like, oh, his name comes up on my screen, I know I'm in for a good time. But now, formally rescinding all Kenny Ortega praise. We are now a staunch anti. Even though
thanks for checking us, Brooke. Appreciate that.
Right.
Please, anyone check us. We don't know anything.
Please. We don't do our research.
And neither of us are like.
Right, and like neither of us like have any like formal expertise or background. Like, this is literally just our bullshit ass opinion. So if we say something, I'm literally talking out of my ass for an hour most weeks. So if I say something incorrect, like, definitely I would rather know than not know. So feel free, and I will never take anything anyone's like. I know you guys are being nice. If you listen to this podcast and you're writing it, I know you're being nice. I know you're not like trying to be a dick to me. So don't worry that we're going to like take it the wrong way. But that out of the way, I also wanted to shout out an awesome listener who fucking crocheted a swamp-themed bag.
This shit was crazy.
It really, like, this nearly moved me to tears.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Yes. It's at Fruity Cutie Crochet. And Lydia is their name. And I sent Lydia some fucking free stickers, because I'm like, that's all I can do to fucking thank you. It was the cutest thing ever. It had like the little friendship beads that said the swamp. And they had to have made that pattern like from scratch. I don't really know. I've tried to crochet like once or twice, and literally I just like cannot like have that kind of patience. So the fact that they did it like of our like they did it of the little alligator and the frog in our logo, just like so fucking
You're
cool.
brilliant.
So
I love it. It was
and just
adorable,
I don't know
too.
The fact that people who listen to this want to like make stuff about it is like makes me like encourages me to actually edit this shit on time, you know. So thank you for that, and shouts out Lydia. I just wanted at the top of the show to address those two things before we get into
follow them. They do some really great shit.
Yeah, I'll tag them in the description below to their Instagram. Fruity Cutie Crochet.
Amazing.
Very love all you crafty bitches. Craft the craft. It turns out that this week the craft was crochet.
And even if you guys like aren't crafting shit of us or making anything of us, send us your crafts. Please.
Yeah, I want to see if you're like, I painted this picture of my neighbor's dog.
I want to see it.
I want to see it. I do want to see that. I also want to see your Halloween costumes as we're nearing that time where you're probably going to parties or going out and stuff. I want to see your good Halloween costumes or your bad ones. Just show them to me just in general.
Yeah. Did I tell you? Was it you that I figured out what my Halloween costume was going to be? I think I did with you guys.
That you're going to be Activia Jamie Lee Curtis? That is hilarious.
Yeah. Well, Maya's going to be sexy Michael Myers, so I've got to be Activia Jamie Lee. So I got to get a vest.
The sexiest version of Jamie Lee Curtis that I can think of, which is
I don't know. There's a lot of that one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That one every like 6 months. That video of her like thrusting at John Travolta in like a Pilates class comes on my timeline, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like you can see her both labia popping out of the tiny little 80s spandex suit she's got on.
It's like the algorithm is running a little dry, and they're like, just throw this back on. This will get the juice.
It does what the kiss scene in Jennifer's Body did on my timeline on Tumblr 8 years ago. Now this is what comes around. Right.
They're like, you've aged and you've matured, and we see that for you. And so now
here's a gift.
You get Jamie. You've like age bracketed out of Jennifer's Body and into True Lies.
Yeah, literally.
Or actually, I don't know what movie the
I don't know what one that is. From. I could do without John Travolta's bulge. That's a bit much.
I could do without John Travolta.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Unless he's in a fat suit, I don't want it.
Playing a woman. Unless he's in full drag, I don't.
Tracy Turnblad.
That was actually pretty good.
Thank you.
That was pretty good. But
I don't have a good segue back to the craft.
No, and me either. But the craft. So neither of us have ever seen this, which I feel like that's kind of rare. We haven't had one of those in a hot minute. It's like kind of fresh for both of us. But like in true 90s fashion, it starts with like a high school where everyone's 30 and smoking cigarettes. Like everyone at this high school, they're like, it's a Catholic high school, and they're like in little uniforms, but like everyone is fully doing cigs inside, and like not a soul is under the age of 26.
No chance.
Like within eye shot. But specifically, we get our main character, Sarah, who just moved with her dad and like stepmom into this like new house, and she goes to this new school, and there are these 3 girls who are like they're kind of goth and they're kind of like alt girls, and she like kind of spots them and they kind of spot her because they've been doing like witchcraft shit, and apparently you need like 4 people in order to do a lot of like spells, like because you need north, south, east, west, earth, wind, air, fire. The Avatar, long ago the 4 nations lived together in harmony, but then everything changed once Sarah arrived, kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But so they're like not like overtly nice to her at first, but they definitely like, they just make themselves like physically close to her, so she just kind of has no other choice than to be like, okay, I guess you're the people I'm around. But alternatively, Skeet Ulrich, baby Ben Affleck, fucking rolls up and is like new girl, I want to pork you, and she's like, okay, I guess you seem okay, we can hang out. And then they hang out, and then he kisses her, and she's like, I would like to go home. And then the next day he like tells everyone that they fucked and that she was bad at it. And then that's when she fully like accepts her friendship with these alt girls, because they're like, yeah, like he's a douche, like don't fuck with him.
But then from there, it really just spirals. Like, they're kind of like, hey, look at this. We practice magic. Little do they know, she's like a natural born witch, I guess, which some people are, some people aren't. And then
yeah, I feel like the assumption, or at least the assumption that I had, was that the three of them are just kind of like dicking around in the woods, just three kind of goth bitches who like to play with knives. But Sarah's the only one who like actually got some real clout. Magic. And just like her just like participating in it with them allows them to also do it. But I don't believe that like they could have ever done it like without her, or like without, you know, that fourth person who like actually practice. If they found some other random fourth bitch who like wasn't literally a witch, like it wouldn't have worked. But they like go to this witch like store, and the lady at the witch store like basically knows they're stealing, and it's like, that's fine, but like you guys are fucking like annoying. But she's just like, oh, like Sarah, I can tell you're different, like because you're like actually are gonna pay for your book or whatever. And she can kind of like sense, she's like, I know you have that like witchy spirit, and so she like gives her some extra books so that she can like read up on it. But then the four girls together kind of start like realizing that they can do legit, like they make their friend float, and they kind of sort of do some entry level spell sort of things, and they're like, oh shit, like this is for realsies. And so then they basically have fully committed to a life of witchcraft, and they do the big ceremony where they all bleed into a cup, and they all drink from the cup, and they all like hold the knife to each other's throat and be like, you can't be scared, and they're like, I'm not scared, and then they kiss, and it's like, okay, which
those are witches, those are just lesbians.
This movie is not nearly as gay as I thought it was going to be.
I know.
I thought this movie was going to be gay. I thought this was going to be an LGBTQ film.
Literally, this is just lesbians. I know bitches that after dating for like 2 weeks have each other's blood. Like, this is
in a
that's
vial
not
around
witchcraft.
No, it's
that's
not.
sapphic.
It's not weird. That's sapphic yearning. No, they're not even dating. They're just really good friends.
Yeah. Oh my god. There wasn't even an ounce of homoeroticism. I was disappointed.
Just like, I carry a vial of her blood around my neck, but like, we're not dating. We're besties. We're just besties. Which, yeah, I was really hoping that there was at least going to be like some gay undertones somewhere, or at least make one of them like canonically gay, and that's why she's being bullied or something. I don't know. It just felt like that was the vibe, and it never really got there. But basically, they all do this thing where they drink from the cup, and they say, like, with their witchcraft, this is sort of the energy that they want to put forth, and like the thing that they want. And so fucking Rochelle is getting bullied at school for being black, so she wants her racist bully to get some, which is like, okay, super fair, Rochelle.
That's
like,
really valid.
That's a pretty reasonable ask. And then Bonnie is, Neve Campbell is covered in burn scars from like a childhood accident, and so she wants to like get rid of her scars, or like feel, you know, she says she wants to like feel beautiful on the outside like she does on the inside or whatever. So just, you know, physical scarring, she wants to magically, you know, get rid of that. Sarah wants Skeet Ulrich, even though he was a dick and told everyone that she was bad at sex. She was like, I still want him to like me.
Wild.
So like with magic, I hope that he likes me. And then Nancy is like, I want to harness the power of a god. Like,
which all Nancy really wants is to not be in like a poor broken home.
But she can't just say that. She has to be so extra that she's like, I would like to harness the power of an otherworldly
like, it's not even like the power of like God or Satan. It's like the God above God is how they described it. What do they say? Menon.
The other girls are like, Menon. The other girls are like, I want this boy to like me. I wish I could feel pretty. I wish people would stop being racist towards me. I wish I was God. Like, okay, Nancy, chill out. Like, maybe that's why things really went kaput, because if you had picked something a little more reasonable, maybe this would not have all come collapsing in on itself.
Well, that's like, I mean, I feel like everyone in high school knew that one narcissistic girl that, like, would have done that.
Did you ever, like, I feel like speaking of, like, high school, or more, like, to me, I feel like middle school, or even, like, before middle school, I feel like there's, like, this innately, like, girlhood growing up, you know, as a girl kind of thing, where you just, like, have this interest in, like, witchy stuff, and you want to, like, make potions. Did you ever, like go out into your backyard and, like, collect leaves so you could, like, make soup, but you were, like, it was, like, always had, like, a witchy undertone?
Yeah, I would... I can't believe I'm going to say this. I would do that in the shower, and I would... I would just, like, mix it, like, I was probably, like, 10 years old, and I would just take the different, like, shampoos and conditioners and just mix them up. And then
and your mom is like, damn, she is going through conditioner like a motherfucker.
Literally. And they'd be so congealed that it wouldn't be able to go down the drain. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's so funny. I didn't get, like, formally spoken to about this at Catholic camp, but I went to, like, a Catholic, like a children's Catholic, like, camp or whatever, and I, like, gathered a group of girls together, and I basically was like, okay, so, like, if they're telling us that Jesus is real, then, like, witchcraft also has to be real, so I need each of you to bring in a different component from your houses tomorrow so we can make a potion at, like, you know, recess time. And, like, literally, this girl's dad was like, why did you ask her to bring in a banana? And I was like, it's for the potion. Like, it's for the potion. And I think I found a rock, and I, like, told them all it was a dragon egg, and that we had to, like, make the potion to, like, put the dragon egg in. I don't think the people at the church camp I mean, it was just, like, you know, just girls being girls, so, but I'm, like, the fact that I was doing that was, like, maybe a little
You went
concerning.
full theatrical. you were an organizer. You organized your coven.
For sure. I definitely was also one of those bitches that, like, fully in kindergarten, I would, like, tell the other kids, I'm like, no, you will be getting a Hogwarts letter, even though I, like, fully knew that wasn't true. I'm like, no, it's real. Like, when you turn 12, you get a Hogwarts letter. Like, I was on that. And it wasn't so much about, like, convincing other people of lies, but it was more of just that, like, I wanted everyone to, like, be on my level of, like, role play. Like, when we're playing the game, I want you to feel it, you know? Like,
D&D must be
I want your improv skills. These days. Right. I know, I'm like the only person in my group who, like, uses I'm not the only one, but I get a little too into, like, doing silly voices where it's, like, to the point where I'm like, oh, I think everyone's a little pissed off. Like, they want to do combat, and I want to talk, like, to the innkeeper in a silly voice for 45 minutes. Like, we are not the same.
Who was your character, by the way? You told me who my Hank's character is, but...
Yeah, so me and Henry's brothers and a couple of other people all just started a new D&D campaign, and it's all taking place in, like, the underworld, like the Underdark, so everything is, like, in caves and stuff, and naturally, I'm a branding girly, so I stuck to a swamp theme. My character, his name is Lyle, and he's an alligator, and he is, his, like, race is, like, lizard folk, and he's just a fucking huge alligator, and he is, like, a redneck. He's from the deep south. He's, like, an Appalachian kind of, like, tinkerer guy, so he can, like, he works at the store. Yeah. He works down at the store, and his name's Lyle, and he's an alligator, and he knows how to, he has a shotgun, like, that kind of
So he doesn't give you a la 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 la.
No, well, that's the joke, is because
he's an alligator, he's not a crocodile, he's an alligator.
I'm waiting to pull out the la 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 and see if, I don't think any of these boys who I play with are gonna know that joke. So that's gonna be for me.
See, if any bitches in Central or Western Mass want to do an all-girls D&D campaign, that is the only way that I would play D&D. I don't want any boys there.
That's super reasonable, yeah. I'm like, I don't want to fight at all. I only want to do, like, cute, girly side quests.
Yeah, if we ever have to, like, if we ever, what is it, like, do battle, I'm just gonna be like, I'm sorry.
sorry. That's like right now our characters are trying to escape a prison and I just am trying to make friends with everyone. Everyone else is like fully doing prison break and I'm like, I'm like, this guy, I'm like, what's your wife's name? Tell me about your family. And everyone's like, you are holding us up.
That's so funny.
I'm like, I want to know all the NPCs. But yeah, I just feel like, I don't know, being into witchy shit is like it's like a young girl thing. I don't know. So did you ever have those like ology books? Like wizardology, fairyology, and they were like those big, they were like huge fucking books, and they had like pop-up pages, and they had little pockets where they had like feathers and stuff in them, and they were like more fun to interact with than they were to actually read.
I just had a big just, like, King Tut phase, which like
there was in Egypt.
Yeah, I think I had
there was one that definitely and it had the flap out things of like the mummification process, which was
I had that.
Cool. Yeah. For sure. I feel like Nancy, if Nancy grew up in the early 2000s, she would have had ology books.
Absolutely. And then she might have been a little more...
Not killed her stepdad.
Yeah.
Except, honestly, she wasn't wrong for that.
I didn't blame her. I didn't blame any of these girls for wanting to change all of the things that they were struggling with. Like, that's all very reasonable.
The only person who I found unreasonable was Sarah. I'm like, you should not still want to date Skeet Ulrich.
Literally.
Like, you should, like, he has proven that he's a piece of shit, and all of your friends are like, yeah, he's a piece of shit. And I think she recognized it. She's like, I don't know why. I just, like, it would feel nice for him to like me back and whatever. Like, everyone else, I mean, Nancy's request to harness the power of a god is honestly more reasonable than Sarah wanting Skeet Ulrich's attention.
But no, think of who you were in high school and think of what you wanted in high school. You would have done the same thing. Any high school girl would have done the same thing.
I guess. For young Ben Affleck, really, I could not stop thinking that Skeet Ulrich looks how Ben Affleck doesn't think he looks. Like, like young Skeet Ulrich is the spitting image of Ben Affleck, but Ben Affleck does everything in his power to not look like himself. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Skeet Ulrich also has, like, better haircuts than Ben Affleck. I saw a photo of what Ben Affleck looked like when him and Matt Damon won the Oscar for Good Will Hunting, and I was appalled at the fact that he showed up to the Academy Awards with the haircut that he did. Fucked up.
Imagine if Skeet had the career trajectory of Ben Affleck. Imagine if we held Skeet Ulrich in the same reverence today that we did Benjamin.
I think the world would be a better place.
Yeah, probably. I don't know what kind of guy he is. IRL. Skeet Ulrich is.
He's got a name called Skeet, so I'm already more inclined to enjoy him.
Skeet. Skeet Ulrich. That is a famous person name. That must be like a pseudonym or something. Because if you name your child Skeet,
I don't know.
You're on one.
I hope they were. That's the only explanation.
But basically, then the magic starts working, and all the girls sort of get what they want in some capacity. Rochelle's racist bully, her hair all falls out, and then Rochelle starts to like feel guilty about it, and she's like, "I feel bad that this bitch is
also a normal
bald
person
now."
reaction.
I'm like, you should. She should not have felt bad. She literally said, like, I don't like black people. Like, she literally said that to this girl's
100%.
face. She deserves to be scalped. Like, scalp
exactly.
her.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but, like, yeah, I think people are pretty adverse to other people's suffering to a certain degree.
That's true, but also, I'm like, Rochelle, I'm like, grow a pair and walk up to her and look her in the eyes and say, this is because you're racist. Yeah. She literally should have been like, I did this to you because I'm a witch. And, actually, maybe that would have perpetuated some negative ideas about.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe that wouldn't have helped, but I'm like, Rochelle, I understand that you feel bad that this bitch is bald now, but she literally is a piece of shit. And then, basically, Skeet Ulrich is obsessed with Sarah. And Sarah's like, honestly, get off my dick. Like, I'm so over this. Get off my dick. And then Bonnie goes in for, like, experimental
skin graft
therapy.
Kind of shit.
like skin grafting. And then it just, like, magically goes away. Which, like, the peer review process of this experimental, like, treatment is gonna go so fucking crazy. Like, she fully bamboozled an entire generation of scientists, I'm sure. Absolutely. Because they just, like, fully just thought that this cured this girl's irreparable burn wounds.
And then it never went away for any of the other people that they tried it on.
Like, damn, girl, you at least could have given them a heads up. Like, yeah, I've been using some secret lotion on the side. Don't worry about it. Like,
this wasn't you.
And then Nancy, now with her newfound ability to harness the power of God, she just smites down her abusive stepfather, and he just fucking drops dead, and her family inherits all of his, like, pension money, so her and her mom get to, like, move out of their trailer and into, like, a nice apartment, and it's, like, a nice little rags to riches, you know, ditch the abusive men in your life kind of storyline, which I like the movie right up until about that point where they sort of all get what they want, and some of them are facing sort of emotional repercussions, like Sarah's not super into having Skeet Ulrich follow her around, Rochelle's feeling kind of weird about making this girl bald, honestly Nancy's just fucking booling, and Bonnie's like, I'm hot as hell now, so they, like, neither of them really are feeling any type of way. But this is the part in the movie where I wanted, like, the consequences of their actions to be a little less intense and maybe more about them, like, learning how to do magic for good, or just more, like, for, like, the power of female friendship or something, and not, like, literally Nancy flies off the fucking handles and is like, I need to continue to harness the power of God. And also she then turns Bonnie and Rochelle against Sarah, because I think, you know, Nancy secretly knows that Sarah is, like, the source of the power. And Sarah's also, like, not into killing people, which they start doing, and she's like, I'm not into killing people. And Nancy's like, grow a fucking pair. Which I also didn't really like the part of the story where Bonnie and Rochelle so easily turn on Sarah. Like, they're so quick to just do what Nancy wants, which I'm sure is part of the, like, her magical power or whatever, but in theory, Sarah should have just as much, if not more. So, like, I just don't like that it sort of becomes the three of them ganging up on her. And then the whole last act of the movie is essentially the three of them being like, well, fuck you, Sarah, if you're not gonna help us, we're against you. And they, like, trick her into thinking her parents died in a plane crash, and they trap her in her house with, like, bugs and snakes, and then it basically ends up in this big out brawl between Sarah and Nancy of, like, who's the more powerful witch or whatever, and Sarah finally gets the courage to, like, call upon the higher powers, and she fucking swipes Nancy to the side. And then the very ending, which I just also did not like, is, like, Bonnie and Rochelle come to apologize. Sarah makes a tree fall next to them, and she's like, fuck you, which is fine, but then it shows Nancy has, like, been institutionalized and is, like, locked away.
I hate when any movie ends on that.
What a bullshit fucking... Like, the one that I'll maybe give a pass to is Jennifer's
Yeah,
Body,
but then she breaks out.
They did, like, a fun little side thing with it. I'm like, this one, I'm like, okay, so the end of the story is just that, like, they all got punished. They all got punished for
being bad witches.
Right? And it's stupid. I wish that the lesson learned could have come a little softer, a little earlier, and then the end could have been, like, wouldn't have had to be just so, like, and then she was a crazy bitch who we put in the house, you know? Like, I just didn't like that. I thought that this movie had more potential.
I agree. I really liked the first two acts. I thought were really great. It was so for the girls. Really and then all... Come on. Let's have something.
And even if we want the ending to be that Nancy spirals out of control, I would have preferred you have Bonnie and Rochelle kind of torn between, do we follow Nancy, who we've known forever and who's a little bit scary, or do we go with Sarah because we know that that's what's, like, morally right, and then eventually teaming up with Sarah so that the three of them could, like, take down Nancy and sort of, like, you know, get the evil magic out of her or whatever, right? Because then it would have been like a girls working together, friendship kind of thing, and less of just like a they were all bitches to each other, which I feel like is why you can tell that this movie was written and directed by
I was just looking that up. Because Could you tell?
Because it's literally just like, oh, these stupid teenage girls try to get what they want, and then they do get what they want, and it turns out it's bad, and they were bitches all along. And so they got what was coming to them. Like, no, I just think it could have been... And it got right up to that point where it really could have been, like, really good. But the ending kind of just lost me. I was like,
yeah. It was pretty rough.
Okay. Oh, hey, Jen. So nice of you to stop by to host your interim podcast segment, Chocolate or Vanilla. You're going to say two things. We're all going to say which one we like better. It's a hoot, it's a holler, it's a romp. Henry pretty recently was saying, he was like, we were talking about the episodes he had been on or something, and he was like, do you think I'm anyone's favorite character? And I was like, character? And he's like, like character on your podcast. I'm like, that's really sweet, Henry, but Jen is everyone's favorite character.
Stop it.
No fucking shot. But Jen, how are you?
I am good. How are you guys?
I have COVID, so I'm not great, but chilling.
I'm okay. I kind of wanted... It's so funny. We all went to Comic-Con this weekend. And
COVID-Con.
3 out of the 4... Yeah, COVID-Con. 3 out of the 4 of us ended up with COVID, and I was in my car yesterday in the middle of work doing a test, and I was sitting there, I was like, I kind of want to have it just so that I can get out of work for a couple of days.
You want to have no symptoms but the positive test and be like, oh, sorry, can't come in.
I can't come in, oh no.
5 days.
I know, so funny that's how it is now, whereas I don't know, a year and a half ago, it was literally terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just saying, it's literally, it's the common cold now. It's so, it's weird that it's like this. But anyways, Jen, is there a theme this week?
So yeah, these are going to be things that come in groups of 3, and you have to say which of the 3 you like best.
Okay.
Because of the 3 craft girls. Yeah.
There's actually 4 of them, actually.
Oh, shit.
Well, the
Are you
core
serious?
3.
That's okay.
The core 3.
All right, my bad. I went with the core 3. My theme is core 3. So, funny story. One time when I was I was definitely in my late 20s or something, and we were hanging out, and Gary's friend's like, you look like one of those girls from that movie. And he thought that I looked like one of the craft girls, and I was like, oh my god, thank you.
Oh my god.
The one with the long hair.
Sarah.
Neve Campbell?
No.
Nope, not that one.
Sarah,
Robin
like
Tunney?
Probably the main girl,
Yeah.
Sarah. She also has auburnish hair, so I feel like
Yeah.
that would probably be.
I do not look like that, but when somebody tells you look like a movie star, I know. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. She's gorgeous.
But I wish.
So are you, Jen. So, I don't see the...
Has to be one of those. It has to be either her or Neve Campbell, because the other one
Definitely.
is black, and then the other one is scary goth.
Maybe it's a scary goth one, he thought.
No.
But anyway, so I'm going to say chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry for all of these.
Okay.
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
I'm going to go strawberry. Just... okay, first one. Shrek, Fiona, Donkey.
Shrek. OG. The titular.
I'm gonna go Donkey.
All right, I'm gonna go Fiona because she's a badass. Beyonce, Kelly, or Solange.
Oh, come on, Beyonce.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, wait, I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna say Solange because there's that photo of her walking out of the elevator after beating up Jay-Z.
Yeah,
You know what
that
I'm
is
talking about?
good.
Yeah, I'll go for her. She's real.
I like that concept, but I'm gonna go with Beyonce. Ed, or Eddie?
I always liked Ed with 2 Ds, who they called Double D, because he was the smart one, and he wore a big beanie. And I always felt like he was the cool one.
I don't know. I didn't like Ed, Ed and Eddie as a kid. I'll go for Double D as well.
Right. As will I, even though I have no idea. I can't
Yeah,
even
that
remember
was
the show.
one show that I distinctly disliked.
Yeah, I can't even remember watching it. But was it Nickelodeon? Maybe was it
No, it was
Network.
Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network?
They had a lot more hits and misses.
Speaking of Cartoon Network, Timmy, Cosmo, or Wanda?
Oh,
That's Nickelodeon.
That's Nickelodeon.
come on.
Sorry.
I'm gonna say Wanda.
I'm also gonna say
'Cause-
Wanda.
She was the voice of reason. But I liked that her and Cosmo's relationship was that she was really smart and he was really dumb, but they still loved each other a lot. I always thought that was really cute.
They balanced each other out. Yeah, I totally agree with you there.
I'm gonna go with Timmy Turner. Next one, Naruto, Sasuke, or Sakura?
This is a Henry question. I think he just finished rewatching Naruto for like the whateverth time. I do not know. I do not care to know. That is not something all I know is when kids do the Naruto run, which I think is pretty funny. So I guess I'll just pick Naruto because
Can you do the Naruto run right now in your room so we can see it?
No, I'm not going to get out of my comfortable seat to show you how to Naruto run, Jen. But it's just, you run, but you, like, make yourself really aerodynamic by, like, putting your body at a 90-degree angle and putting your arms out behind you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If that makes sense.
I'm just gonna say Sasuke, because I like the name better. I also have never seen an ounce of Naruto. Maybe one episode while I was, like, doing homework at, like, a friend's place. But I have no fucking idea.
All right, I'll go with Naruto because titular character. Luke, Leia, or Han?
Leia.
Yeah, it's Leia, always.
Yeah, Leia for me too. Joe, Nick, or Kevin?
I feel like the only one you can morally pick is Nick Jonas.
Yeah.
Because as far as we know, he loves his wife.
Yeah.
And didn't vote for Donald Trump.
Yep.
And that's a low bar, but...
Exactly. Yeah. I used to be a Joe girly, but now I gotta default to Nick. Because it's definitely not Kevin.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Nick also.
Can I pick Frankie?
Oh, love Frankie.
Little Joe bro.
Love Frankie. Him and Kevin host this show called Claim to Fame. I don't know, you guys are reality show people, right?
I've never heard of this,
I
though.
would recommend watching it. I think they've done...
Oh, it's where somebody's related to somebody else, right?
Yeah, they're related to another celebrity, and everyone in their
like,
houses, and they have to figure out who's related to who, and whoever's left at the end, who hasn't been figured out, wins.
Oh, like, that sounds like I would love that kind of show.
Is Judge Judy.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's stupid, because it's reality TV, but, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Do you know what it streams on? By chance?
I don't. I have no idea.
Yeah,
my parents still have cable, so
we got rid of cable, and we are saving so much money.
I could imagine.
Next one: Ferris, Cameron, or Sloan?
Cameron.
Gotta say Ferris.
I'm gonna say Cameron. He's so funny in that.
I feel personally the most like Cameron. Like, I have a list. I have a running list of characters that I feel very like attached to, and like I feel like I align with. And Cameron's one of them, but like that doesn't mean that I want that. You know what? Everyone wants to be Ferris Bueller. Maybe not you, Dara. That seems like your nightmare, actually.
Yes, absolutely not.
Maybe not everyone.
Center of attention at all times.
Cool guy.
Next one: SpongeBob, Patrick, or Squidward?
Squidward.
Yeah.
I played the clarinet in high school, and everyone else who played the clarinet also picked that instrument because it's the one that Squidward plays.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm also gonna go for Squidward here.
Okay, from One Piece, Luffy, Zoro, or Shangi? Oh, I didn't pick. I'm sorry. It's Squidward, obviously. From One Piece, Luffy, Zoro, or Shangi?
I don't know One Piece. That's another one that Henry has watched.
After we were just at Comic-Con.
I know.
There was so much that I had no idea about. I didn't know a fucking thing. They had the gigantic Naruto blow-ups. I was like, I couldn't even tell you who's who.
Your brother could answer them all, knew them all though, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Henry too. Henry's like weirdly, I'm like, I've never even heard you mention that show. And he's like, oh yeah, I've seen all 90 seasons. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? I think he just like doesn't sleep. But all I know about One Piece really is that it's 8,000 episodes long, and that they just did a live action version on Netflix. So I don't know too much about it other than that. Other people who like it are like really into it.
Aaron watched it. Ryan watched it too. Ryan watched it.
What were my choices?
Luffy, Zoro, Shangi.
I'll pick Zoro.
Yeah.
Because of Zoro.
Yeah, I like the name. I'm also gonna jump on Zoro.
I'll pick Luffy because of the name also. Next one. Father, Son, or Holy Spirit?
Holy Spirit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I always liked growing up how whenever they needed to do like a visual aid for like Father, God, a man with a big white beard, Son, Jesus, a man with a brown beard, but then they're like Holy Spirit, a dove. But it's more like the feeling you get when a dove flies by.
The vibe.
Or like
of
there was
dove.
always like whooshing lines and like maybe some music notes.
Yeah.
I always just found whatever like the visual depiction of like Holy Spirit was to be kind of funny.
The sun shining
so
down on said dove as it flies away. Yeah, I'm also gonna go for Holy Spirit, because that's just like cuntier in a good way.
More abstract.
Yeah.
Let's climb that ladder of abstraction.
That's high camp, is the Holy Spirit.
Me too. Holy Spirit for the sweep. Next one, Percy, Annabeth, or Grover?
Ooh, Grover.
I don't remember much of the book. I remember reading it. I'll just say Percy.
Yeah, I'll go Percy too. Again, I liked those books back in the day. Although Annabeth is that actress is can't remember her first name. It's like
With the really blue eyes.
Yeah, Annabelle Diora maybe or something like that. Yeah, her eyes are crazy. Her eyes are crazy beautiful.
I like the casting a lot for the new TV show. I don't think it's come out yet, but I'll definitely watch it. Even though I don't think I have Disney Plus, so I'll probably watch it illegally somewhere, 6 months after it comes out. But I'm pretty excited for it. It looks like it's like a new take on an old thing that I'm like not pissed about. Like usually that kind of thing would like rub me the wrong way, but I think it seems like they're actually trying to do something like a little bit different and good with it. So I'm excited to see what kind of response it gets.
Yeah, me too. I think it's worth a watch. Last one, Ash, Misty, or Brock?
Ooh, obviously growing up, I was always a Misty girl because she was the one girl character and she always had the cute Pokemon, which as a young girl, I was like, I don't care if they're powerful, I just want them to be cute. And I think I have a stuffed Togepi actually around here somewhere. So I'll definitely pick Misty.
What were my options?
Ash, Misty, or Brock.
Again,
do you know from the original TV show? You never watched Pokemon as a kid?
I watched a little bit. I'll say Brock. I remember liking him because I was a kid and he was like the big doofus.
I'll go with Ash. I'll go with the main guy. And that is it for things that come in threes, chocolate or vanilla.
Well, thank you, Jen. That was superb, splendid, and divine. Thank you, as always, for being here. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks. I love you guys. Have an awesome night.
Bye, Jen.
Bye.
I'm assuming that you've already done your research, but can you guess what else this man directs?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay, so it's a current show.
Let's see.
I'll give you 3 guesses, and you can have 3 clues.
Okay. My first guess is going to be How I Met Your Father, the How I Met Your Mother spin-off starring Hilary Duff.
No, but I would call it adjacent.
Oh, okay. Can I get a hint?
It premiered in 2020.
Is it a remake?
No. Not a remake.
So like a newer sitcom show. And it's like definitely like on cable TV, right? It's
no,
like
it is a Netflix original.
Oh God. I'm not gonna know. A Netflix, can you tell? You're gonna say it and I'm not gonna know what it is.
You will. I promise you will. It's been talked about because of how bad it is. And I don't know. See, the ratings tell me one thing, but the online discourse tells me another.
Okay, my 19th hint. Can I get the name of one of the lead actors?
No.
No? Okay, just tell me then. I'm not gonna guess.
Emily in Paris.
Oh my god, it's Emily in Paris.
I couldn't tell you any lead actors because I don't think you would know who any of the other ones, who any of them are, except for Lily Collins.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So.
That's so funny.
Yeah, he's currently directing Emily in Paris.
Wow, that's crazy. That's also women written by men.
Yeah, quite the turn from this to Emily in Paris.
Not that long ago, my like 45-year-old boss, who's just like a father, like he's just like a normal like middle-aged guy. He was like talking about this like coffee shop that he likes, and he's like, yeah, it feels very like Emily in Paris. And I was like, Mike, what the fuck do you mean? And he's like, you know that show, Emily in Paris? Like, the vibes are just so, like, similar to that. And I was like, I just would not have guessed that you have seen or even know what that show is. Like, what a bomb to drop on me, sir. My entire perception of you has changed.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, which is maybe gonna make me sound stupid, but the guy who shows up to her house with the snake.
Yeah.
And he's, like, holding up the snake to her. And then he shows up later when she's, like, walking down the street, and he, like, runs after her, and then he gets hit by a car. Was his presence in the movie solely to be, like, that she has this, like, magical energy radiating from her, and he was just some guy who could sense it, and he was showing her the snake because that means, like, a sign of danger or something? Or, like, was that gonna come full circle at any point? Did that make
Honestly, I have
sense
no
to you,
idea.
other than just, like, they just later were like, oh, snakes are, like, a symbol for, you know, like, all-powerful beings or, like, fucking whatever, and Nancy ends up being, like, super into snakes or whatever, ends up being her
really
thing once
don't
she's,
know.
like, sort of on the... But that character, I was, like, waiting for that to, like, make sense.
It never
then he
did.
fully gets hit by a car. He gets hit by a car in one of the most intense POV getting run over camera sequences. Like, they fully put a GoPro on this man and had him get hit and run several times. Like, it was
they played it back a
But I was
couple
just sort of-
times.
I was waiting for that to make sense to me, and it didn't, other than the fact that they just, like, brought up snakes again. But I was like, why did that need to happen?
I couldn't fucking tell you.
Maybe
Again,
it got
that's
cut
how
or
you know
something.
that this was written by a man.
Yeah.
They're like, let's just throw in some action, guy getting hit and run over by a car.
Oh, he's a spooky homeless man. That's so original.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Like, it just pissed me off. I was waiting for him to come back and, like, give her an important piece of advice, or, like, maybe he was there to actually help her or something, but it just, like, never really got to
I really have,
where it was going.
Could not tell you. I wish I had an answer. But
before we get into our regularly scheduled programming, I pulled some of the questions that we didn't get to last week.
brilliant.
Yeah, we had put out before we did our Addams Family episode for people to send in some questions. So unfortunately, some that were Addams Family specific that we didn't get to because I decided to go on a long-winded tangent of a personal story, which I'm sure, like, really did not need to happen. I pulled some of the other ones, so I just wanted to go through some of these. I know we sort of already addressed this, but @5th_Ray said, what are your Halloween costumes this year? Or a favorite one you did in the past. So you're going to be Jamie Lee Activia, which is fucking hilarious.
So
I have not a clue what I'm going to be. Actually, I have no plans to go anywhere or do anything, but I'm sure I'll probably just, like, put on a colored shirt and say I'm a certain person or something. Or if we end up doing something cute for the pod, I'll, like, put on makeup or something. But we just went to Comic-Con, and you were Ripley from Aliens, the second Alien movie, when Ripley has the shorter hair, and, like, you had a whole ass 3D printed fucking machine gun. Which was
the way I was carrying it around, my forearm hurt the next day. But, like, because, like, I was holding it like a gun all day long, like, across my chest.
You're in character.
Yeah, my posture had never been better.
And then for Comic-Con, me, Henry, and Emily's younger brother, Ryan, were all characters from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So all of my Halloween energy has been put into that. So I haven't, and I'm definitely not I'm not getting up in my whole fucking JoJo garb again. So I don't know about Halloween. But a favorite one of my past definitely has to be, I think 2 years ago, Henry and I did from Legally Blonde, the UPS guy, and Jennifer Coolidge's character. Well, I thought that was...
You did that on our stream.
Yes. I thought that one was very funny and that it ended up coming out pretty good. And then a very long time ago, Henry and I were the meme of Guy Fieri holding the big hot dog. And the caption is like, "Please, my son is sick." It's so funny. So I was a giant hot dog and Henry was Guy Fieri and he like held me sideways. It was also
truly one of your best. I think it's still your pinned tweet, right?
I think it's my pinned tweet on Twitter, which my Twitter is private, but if you follow me at OKDara and you just don't look like a fucking narc, I'll let you in. Like, I just work a real adult job so people can't see that I tweet the word cunt. But, like, if I can tell that you're not a fucking, like, adult, or not an adult, but, like, if your at is, like, John Smith, like, I'm not gonna let you in. But if your at is, like, Cunty Spice, I'm gonna let you in. Which, speaking of, complain.t, so it's C-U-M, love, said, which movie characters are in your Dream Blunt rotation? I have to say, not to plug our merch, but we do sell a tote bag of the nuns from Sister Act that says Dream Blunt rotation with the nuns, and I do think that that's a pretty fire answer, because weed makes me see ghosts, man. I do not like it, so my Dream Blunt rotation has to be people who are going to keep me grounded.
That's so fucking funny. I would really want Jobu Tupaki in my Dream Blunt rotation.
But not Stephanie Shu, like the movie character Jobu. Like, you
want her to be, like,
I want the
chaos.
Molding the universe around you. No, that's the opposite of what I want, bro. She would be like changing outfits so fast in front of me, and I would be like, I need you to slow down. I want her as the Rock. I want her and I can be rocks.
Honestly, that's so ideal.
And then I just want to be a rock.
Yeah, I think I'd want Jobu Tupaki. I would... Who else do I want? I don't know. I've gotta... Hold on. You gotta give me a minute on this one. Oh, I would want Alice from Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Because she would be...
Oh my god. No, you know she's probably the fucking worst.
She'd be... I would want to be watching her watch Jobu Tupaki and flipping out. You know what I mean?
So true.
I want all my girls there. Who else do I have?
I want, from the new live-action Little Mermaid movie... Jacob Tremblay voicing Flounder, the photorealistic Flounder, the way they massacred my boy and did not give that fish an ounce of personality. I want to smoke a blunt with him and watch him morph into the OG Flounder.
I also want Marmee March.
Marmee.
Blunt rotation.
Wait, you know Marmee brought the weed.
Yeah,
like,
Marmee
brought
the dog. Marmee's got the craziest blunt.
Wait, similarly, I want Bob Odenkirk to come up mid-smoke sesh and just yell, "My Little Women," and then leave.
Who else do I want? I also want Viola Davis from Troop Zero. Miss Raylene. I want her in my blunt rotation.
I want Viola Davis from Doubt. No, I'm just
She's in Doubt?
Yeah, she plays
the mom of the kid who
the
got,
mother
like, yeah.
Of, yeah. She needs one. Wait, Lydia Todd. That's my final answer. I want to smoke a fat blunt with Lydia
Tarr. Oh my fucking god, dude. That's so bad. Should I throw Tanya Harding's mom into the mix?
Stop.
Played by Allison Janney.
Wait, but she has to have the bird on
she has to have the bird on her shoulder. I feel like I do.
You can have Allison Janney. I want the bird.
Well, I think she would keep us grounded as a group. You know what I mean? And then, to keep everyone calm. Actually, no, I take that back. I don't want her. Because she would get mean, because everyone would be getting weird.
She's gonna throw a chair. She's gonna throw a butter knife at someone's head.
I want Sam Perlman from Call Me by Your Name. I want Elio's dad.
So
I think I want his mom too, because she's so hot.
He has like calming tea already going, because he knows somebody's gonna get a little too.
Yeah. Like, if I had to lay down, he would, like, I'd actually let this man rub my back, you know what I mean?
He'd, like, start a bonfire for
He'd have, like...
He'd give you a nectarine.
He'd have, like, a childhood nickname for me, even though I did not grow up with it.
Oh my god, do you know that tweet that's like... It's like I yearn for you in a way that... Not romantic, but as if we grew up together on Papa's orchard. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, it's safe to say that I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, and I want Millie Bobby Brown, but not as a character. I just want her. Have you seen that thing recently where she's like, I know I'm a feminist because a psychic told me.
My psychic told me.
I know that bitch is probably wild to talk to because she's been homeschooled her whole life, and hardly because she was on a Netflix set, and she's gonna get married to John Bon Jovi's son. Her life is crazy. I know that bitch just has some shit to say.
Yeah. I would also want last one. I want, what's his character's name from? It's Daniel Craig in Glass Onion and Knives Out. What's his name?
Oh, I was just supposed to say Hercule Poirot, but that's just the character he's based on, of the Agatha Christie.
What's his name? It's something fucking weird.
I know who you're talking about.
Hold on, let me find it.
You're gonna say him.
Let me find it.
It's something French. Blanc.
Benoit Blanc. And then just to I can't even say it. Just to round it out, we might as well add Black Phillip in there.
I was just about to say, I thought you were saying Balto.
But yeah, that's maybe not Black Phillip, but that's my blunt rotation. I feel like that's a very pretty calm and collected one.
No, Black Phillip is the friend who is completely nonverbal and then just at the most intense moment spits out the "What's that like to live deliciously?" and whips out a pan.
Imagine getting Black Phillip and Jobu Tupaki in the room together. Crazy.
When two queens come together to maximize their joint slay. Oh my God.
World would end.
All right, but let's get into our regularly scheduled programming. Who in this, even though these teenagers are all literally played by 30-year-old adults, we are omitting them from Fuck, Marry, Kill because they are canonically in high school. Despite the fact that literally, I think the actress who plays Rochelle was 30.
Not shocked. There's no one to fuck or marry or kill then.
Her dad? I'm gonna just marry the bitch who owns the show.
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
That's all I care about.
Yeah.
And I'll just still fucking kill Nancy's bitch ass stepdad. Yeah. And I'll fuck Nancy's mom, who's really into that one artist on her jukebox. I bet she's a really fun time.
She probably is. And then what are you having to eat and drink?
So my tale of woe is that I tried to make from scratch apple fritters, apple donuts.
Okay.
And I followed a recipe from a reputable source, and I had my little apples from the orchard, like the good New Englander that I am, and I just made them today, and they just came out so bad. They just are so oily and so dense and grossly oily.
That's
because I deep fried them, and it just they were awful. And so I'm in theory, a really good apple fritter donut would be so fire with this movie, but my baking skills were just not up to the task, I guess. But I will default and drop. I don't know if I've said this before in the past, but my go-to autumnal/winter salad recipe, it's a go-to. If you bring it to the function, everyone will be like, oh my God, give me your salad recipe. And it's super easy. You just do the greenery base of your choice. I like to go for kale. You can do like a kale spinach blend, some arugula, just whatever you fuck with. I usually just go for kale though, because I like that it's like crunchy. And then you put some pecans. You can toast them if you like. You don't have to. So you do toast, you chop up some sweet potato really thin, and then you put that with like some tossed olive oil in the oven. You get those crispy. Those are like almost like your croutons, but they're like sweet potato. Goat cheese, crumbled up.
I love goat.
And that's honestly,
salad.
you can keep it at that if you want, and then if you want to add like other auxiliary vegetables you have, like some red onion, some carrots, just like whatever you have, it all goes good together. And then a protein if you care to, honestly. Oh, apples. That's the other important thing. Thinly sliced apples in there. So it's very crunchy. It's very like autumnal salad, super easy to make. And honestly, I just use it with whatever fucking salad dressing I have already in the fridge. Like I don't use anything. It's just as good with anything. And there's already so much goat cheese in it that you don't really need a lot of dressing because it's already like pretty. But that's what I had for dinner while I watched this movie, and I felt like the vibes were pretty right.
That sounds good.
And then to drink, I found a cocktail online called a witch's kiss.
Cute.
And even though it's a tequila drink, the description specifically said, even if you don't like tequila, this drink you will still probably like this drink just because of like everything else that's in it. So I actually would be kind of interested to try it. It's tequila, Chambord.
Oh,
I
love
Chambord.
Ooh, that's an interesting combo.
Lime juice, brown sugar, and you shake all of that, and then you just pour it with some ice, and then you do a San Pellegrino, the orange pomegranate flavor.
Brilliant.
And it's called a witch's kiss. And I'm like, that sounds delightful. With your little autumnal salad.
That sounds really nice, actually.
What about you?
So I was just looking up a drink, while you were talking. But I really wanted to go for some reason, maybe it's because of the dark makeup and the spooky vibes, but for some reason I was getting really pulled to Jaeger for this. And maybe it's because I love like the black licorice kind of like anise flavor. How the fuck do you say it? I don't know. Anise, whatever how you say it, I don't know. I love that flavor though. And so I really like.
You're sick. Sick and twisted.
I didn't get like my taste buds still don't let me eat like real seafood. You know what I mean? Like I don't like lobster or anything like that, but I can drink that, and that's a flavor that I like. But
well, you haven't told you're age 28 before your taste buds alter again, so you've just got a ways to go.
A bit. But I found one. It's called a Jaeger Buck, and you make it with 2 ounces of Jaeger and then 0.75 ounces of ginger syrup, which was giving very fall for me. And then 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, shake it up, and then you top it with some seltzer water. And I thought it sounded delightful, personally, with the ginger syrup and the Jaeger, and I feel like those flavors combine really well. I'd love to try it sometime. But other than that, what to eat with it? For some reason, my brain immediately went to French toast. I think you make French toast with like a really like kind of thick strawberry compote sort of thing. And I think you do that with like some whipped cream on top. And you do like a big fat fucking stack of the French toast. You get the brioche bread. Yeah. It's
been a long time since I've had some nasty, like good nasty French toast.
If you want to have some, I've got some really great Vermont maple syrup that's aged in whiskey barrels.
Ooh, okay, New England, I see you.
But yeah.
And then what movie are you gonna follow it up with?
So I'm gonna tell you not to watch a movie. I'm gonna tell you to watch the 3rd season of American Horror Story, Coven.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is personally one of my favorite witchy depictions, and it feels very much in a similar kind of vein, where it's dark, but it is also sort of girly pop.
For sure. And they all like turn on each other low-key.
And I personally like the way that that show season ends than this movie. And you also get the iconic, what is this? Naughty Pie!
Naughty Pie! Why is that going around? Like, it's on my Twitter feed.
Because Kate McKinnon did an amazing, like,
really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did she do, like, something on SNL?
No,
she would play a good, like, Jessica Lange impersonator.
Yeah, she was talking to fucking Jerry Springer about, not Jerry Springer, Jerry Seinfeld about it.
She's talking
Jerry Springer. Did he die? Did Jerry Springer die? Or was it?
Don't ask me.
I feel like one of them died.
Pee-wee?
Not Pee-wee.
Pee-wee died.
Jerry Springer's dead. But anyways, Jerry Seinfeld. But anyways, yeah.
Comedians and cocks getting Kong feed.
Yeah.
Stupid fucking TV show. Give me a TV show where I make celebrities drink a fifth of gin and then go on a children's playground with me. That's my version of that.
He died on my birthday.
That's my pitch. Oh, rip.
This year.
Rip Jerry Springer.
Anyways, what do you...
But my movie I'm going to follow this up with is this is like magic, like legit skis. Like they're harnessing otherworldly powers. And I think we need to bring it back to magic tricks. And we're doing tricks. And the opposite of female friendship is male enemies. And they were maybe bros at one point, but they are going head to head and doing magic about it. And that's The Prestige. If you've ever seen it, it's a Christopher Nolan film starring...
Oh, yeah, you told me about this.
Hugh Jackman. Yeah, it's Hugh Jackman and fucking... what's his name? Christian Bale. And they play, like, old-timey, like, Victorian-era magicians. And they're like, who can do the better fucking illusion trick to, like, get the job at the big theater? I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought the performances were great. And, like, all Christopher Nolan movies, it does some, like, fun timeline stuff and just, like, good filmmaking. So if you want a movie about magic tricks that isn't... what's that fuck-ass movie? Now You See Me? Absolutely not. I would never tell you to go watch that movie. But I will tell you to go watch the movie.
I rescind my answer because I really wanted to talk about this. But I think that instead of watching anything, I think you get onto TikTok and you go find this one girl who Evan on TikTok, Cool Cats for never. I can't remember their handle, but
Cool Cats with a Z for never.
But I was sitting here the entire movie trying to figure out why the actress that plays Nancy looks so familiar to me and who looks like her. And finally, like right when I ended the movie, I was like, oh my god, Evan on TikTok looks like her. Like, I need, like, someone go watch it. Someone go check out her page. Tell me that I'm wrong. I would recast her as Nancy in a heartbeat. I want that. I'm pitching this to them right now. Please, as your Halloween costume, Nancy from The Craft.
Especially in the like the pleather jacket. That look was so cunty, but I totally agree with you. But when you said TikToker who looks like Nancy, I immediately thought of a different TikToker who I also will stand by looks like Nancy, and their is at Madeline_Pendleton, and they just do TikToks about a whole bunch of stuff, but especially they like run a business and they like equitably pay their employees, and they like break down how they like manage to do that. That's mostly the content from them that I get, but they also get they do a lot of TikToks about like growing up in the punk scene and stuff. They're a little bit older, but it's like if Nancy like doesn't get institutionalized, this is like the version that I would put for like modern day Nancy, I would say. So if you want to cast these two bitches in a fucking movie as older and younger versions, I mean not that much older or younger, like it's probably like a 10-year difference or whatever, but I'll link them both below. You guys can tell us if you think that they remind you of Nancy from The Craft or not. But also, I would recommend following them both. They both make really
Evan
great,
makes me
great
giggle
content,
always.
so. And then out of 10, I'm gonna give this movie a 6.
Exactly,
How about
6.
Which it was getting there in the beginning. I was like, that could be really good. And then it just like all of a sudden started spiraling and losing itself.
Yeah.
Which really bummed me out.
I think that I watched the first half of this on my lunch break and I was gripped. And then I watched the second half of it on the fucking bike at the gym tonight. So I was like really like enthralled with this movie just because it was the thing that was keeping me on track. But yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think that it really lost me at a certain, or not.
It didn't lose me. It just didn't go where I wanted.
It held on to me throughout the movie. I don't think it really lost me. I just think that it could have been more interesting in that second act.
But as far as like a 90s fun spooky movie to put on,
for your girls,
totally
watch this with your girls.
Yeah. Put a little pinprick of your blood into a little cup. Have a craft night. That's what you do. You don't follow this up with anything. You have a craft night.
I think you guys are, exactly.
Teach each other to crochet or some shit. I need Lydia to teach me how to fucking crochet because I don't know how to count my stitches because everything I've ever crocheted looks like fucking ass. But we love you all. Thank you all for listening. And we're going to be closing out. I cannot believe that October's almost over. But definitely continue to send us your Halloween costumes, please. Like, I want to see what you guys are dressing up as. And all of our social medias are in the description below. We just posted a TikTok yesterday. If you guys want to watch our TikTok, give us numbers. That'd be great. Also, I never say this. If you have not given us a little review on iTunes or like Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Wherever you listen to podcasts, if there's a little star option, we have 4.8 stars on Spotify, and that honestly kind of pisses me off because I know that this show isn't great. I know it's nothing special, but if you took the time to give us a star rating and you gave us 3 stars, what the fuck, man? So if we could even that out a little bit, if some of you guys could give us 5 stars. Or, I don't think there's a comment option, but on Apple Podcasts, I know there is. Leave a little comment.
I love reading them.
Or just do a bunch of emojis, like literally whatever emojis. Comment your top 5 most recent used emojis. Like literally that will help numbers-wise. Like it doesn't have to be well thought out. Or it can be. That's up to you. But that's my plea. I'm on my knees. I'm begging you. I'm using all of the witchy powers I can harness from making stick soup in my backyard when I was 8 to get you to leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or I don't know if the other platforms have that, but if they do, I get a report. Sometimes it's like Google Play Podcast, 3 people this month. And I'm like, honestly, good for you. I love that you're sticking to your guns and you know yourself. But we'll see you all next week. We love you and goodbye and good night.